Hi guys, Dennis here from Daddy Bob's RC. Hey, I compiled a couple of videos. I was having an issue with my JDM-208 model that I just bought from Toucan Hobby. And I was having an issue with the ST8 radio. Anyway, first video will be about the issue I was having, what I was trying to do. Second part of the video will be about what I did to fix it. So hopefully this is educational and helps somebody out someday. So it's a long video, but we're here to learn. So thanks for watching, and let's get to it. Hi guys, Dennis here. I'm having issues with setting up my ST8 for my 920 Liebherr that I just got. I will kind of show you the factory settings, and then I am going to go in, change the stick mode, and show you what it's doing, and we'll go from there. Hopefully I can kind of explain this so it's completely understandable. I'm looking for ST8 help, folks. Bought the model. It didn't come with a book for the radio. It comes for a book for the factory settings, but nothing about the radio internals or setups or anything like that. So just looking for some help, and I'm going to show you what it's doing. Okay, we're going to go into menu. We're going to go into TX. I'm going to try and do this as quick as I can. We're going to go into stick mode. Okay, it's set at stick mode 2. Now you'll notice channel 2, channel 1, channel 4, and channel 3. Unless I'm reading this wrong. Okay? Now, this, I'm going to exit back out. Alright. Okay. Now, this should raise the main boom. Okay, I'm going to turn the mix on here. Does the main boom up and down like it's supposed to. This will do the out and in. That's the way that's supposed to work. And this should run your slew, and this should dump the bucket, and this should curl the bucket. Okay, alright, that's the way I want to say cat controls work. That's fine. I don't like cat controls. I like the deer side of it. I don't know if one's ISO and one that's SAE, whatever. Okay, we're going to go and we're going to shut the machine off. And we'll get into menu. We'll go into TX setup. We're going to go down to stick mode. Now, what I want to change is 2 and 3. That's what I want to move. So, I'm going to go up to stick mode 1. Now 2 and 3 moved. So this one should moved over to here, and this one moved over to there. Okay? Alright. Now, we'll exit back out, turn the machine back on. Okay, now 2 and 3 should be switched. Okay? This one still does the boom up and down. This one right here, it didn't move, but that function's reversed now. Now this is going to still be on the stick, but it reversed it. Okay, now my slew should still be over here. My slew should still be over here. But no, it's not. It's over here. And now when I push it this way, it's reversed. It's on the wrong side and reversed. So now every function, the two functions I wanted to move did not move. The function that I didn't want to move did move. And every function on the whole machine is reversed from what it's supposed to be. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. Because now we'll go back. Go down to stick mode. Back to 2. So, okay, so then this should raise and lower the boom. So now the boom is raising when it should, and it's back to the right direction. That should put out the stick. See, those two functions didn't move. This and this did not move, but they reversed themselves, going from stick mode 2 to 1. But at least now, the slew is back where it's supposed to be and going the correct direction. And this should dump the bucket, and this should curl the bucket. That's cat controls. What I changed on the mode and the radio did not do what it's supposed to do. So, anyway, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. If I was to go into my i6S's and change the stick mode, it would do exactly what I wanted it to do. Not on an ST8. So why is that? And I will say that this radio is, let's see where we're at. If I go down to model and go down and select type, see that you can have it at excavator, robot, glider, helicopter, boat, car, delta wing, fixed wing, multi-axis, and then it goes right back to excavator. So that's something that I don't really have. I have a few choices on the i6S's, but anyway, that's the way this is set up. It should be excavator, you know. But when I change stick modes, it should change here. I don't want to have to go and take 3 and 2, get into the receiver and change it. I want to be able to flip between stick modes 1 and 2. You know, I get somebody that likes to run cat stuff, I can go to 1 or 2. If I got somebody that likes to run the deer type controls, I can run it on 1. But changing the stick mode in the radio does not do what it's supposed to do. I'm at wit's end. I'm not going to learn cat controls. This is going to work the way I want it to work, when I want it to work, and then when somebody else wants to run the different ones, I want to be able to switch it on the radio. It shouldn't be that difficult. So hopefully this all makes sense, and you can probably kind of test my frustration, sense my frustration just a little bit. But we'll get it figured out. Hopefully somebody's got an idea on what I'm doing wrong. I'm sure I'm doing something wrong, but without a manual, and I've gone on YouTube and tried to watch some videos and stuff, and nobody describes this. They show it changing the stick modes, and it's supposed to change the sticks. Why shouldn't it do it? It's not. So, any help will be great, folks. Catch you guys later. Send me a PM or a video or whatever. Hopefully we can, as a group, we can get this figured out. I'd appreciate some help. Catch you guys later. Hi guys, Dennis here. Just checking in. I've been working on, and I posted last night a video of an issue I'm having with the ST8 radio and the brand new 920. trying to switch from mode 2 to mode 1 to get from ISO to SAE controls on that model. And I can do it on the i6S's. I can do it on almost all the Flysky radios, but for some reason I couldn't do it on this. So Jeremy Heimel reached out to me last night, PM'd me. He said, check everything, and I went through and I checked everything. I tried mode 1, mode 2, mode 3, mode 4. I tried them all. Nothing changed. Everything went all kind of goofy. Then he mentioned that maybe they had installed some kind of a tune into the radio. Maybe it's a program that they just load up into the radio and make it work the way it is, and you can't switch anything. And that's very possible, because I think they put a tune in there, because I've had switches down and everything on this thing, and I would turn it on and it wouldn't beep at me like the switch was wrong. So I went in and did a hard reset on the radio. Just reset the radio back to factory settings. But before I did that, I wrote a bunch of the programming down, the endpoints and the mixes and all that stuff. I actually went on and watched Oliver with Toucan Hobby. He has a video out there on YouTube on how to set the radio up. So if I happen to miss a step, I could go back and reference and do his. See, what was goofy is the tracks would work all the time, and the slew noise would work all the time. The sound module, even if I didn't have the mix switch on. So that was kind of odd, why was this moving when it wasn't turned on? So I did a hard reboot on the radio and went back to the factory reset. Then I went through the whole radio, and I had to go in and turn a bunch of switches on, because when I went to assign switches, only the VRB and the VRA were showing up. The VRC and the VRD weren't showing up. And so I'm like, well, there's got to be some place where I got to turn switches on. So I went in, had to do that. The ST8 is complex, but once you get into it, it's not that bad. The problem when I did the hard reboot was, so then I had the radio all set up, turned the model on, and it would just sit there and beep at me. So I'd shut the model off, shut the radio off, turn the model on, and it would do the beep, like it wasn't bound to a radio. So had to figure out how to bind the radio. Or bind the receiver, and bind the radio and the receiver. Come to find out, well, if you're looking at this thing, guys, you can pull this off. You can open the door. You can open this door. You can do all of that. You can't see a receiver anywhere, because guess what? Receiver on this thing is underneath the cab. So there was 3 screws that come into the bottom of the cab, which is nice, because it's huge underneath there. The receiver's under there, everything. Because in order to bind this to the receiver, you have to push the bind button. You turn the radio on. You push the bind button. Push and hold the bind button, and then turn the power on. And then it will flash. Then you have to go into the radio and go into the bind settings, which is not a huge major deal. Go into RX settings and go to binding, and then you go to bind and hit the start button, which I've already done it. I'm not going to mess around with it because I don't want to take the cab back off again and screw something up. But I lost the bind between the two. So that was an issue after I got everything figured out. Long story short, now I can switch my radio from mode 1 and mode 2, and what I wanted to work works. So the tune that they put in their radio from the factory, I'm going to call it a tune. There may be other programming, like it's like they put programming into it, mass production. So they got everything, and just instead of going through each radio and setting it up, it's a program they put into it. And the thing is, you can't change it. You can't change your modes. And when you do, everything goes all wonky. So anyway, here we go. Okay, so we got the radio on. We'll turn the machine on. It'll go through all its... That seems like it takes forever. But now I've got it correct, because this is supposed to have been the light switch from the factory, but they had it over here. Well, now I've got it over here where it belongs, or where they had it, supposed to have had it set up. And this is my mix switch on and off for the hydraulics, because if I push anything right now, yes, the slew works, but none of the hydraulics work. They've got a mix switch on here. And now when I push that down, the main boom, this is like deer controls. Okay, and then when I pull this back, the arm comes back. It works the way it's supposed to. Well, the way I wanted it to, anyway. Get the sound turned on. Oh, I don't have the mix switch on. Well, and like it did last night, I don't know if I don't have that. I don't have that. That's why I want to actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the radio now, after I get done with this, and I'm going to get that sound system off of this, because if you don't get it quite centered, then it shuts itself back off again. I want to put it on the 3-position switch, because this switch is not used for anything. I want it to be in the middle, start, horn, shut it back off. I want it on a 3-position switch. But I want to get it off this dial. So I'll have to go back in the radio, but see, my track noises were working all the time before. Now I can shut them off. And that stupid sound system. But then you got to make sure you get it turned in the center, otherwise it gets all goofy. But now it's more natural to me. Back the way it should be. Hopefully I don't bore you guys too much with this. I know I get kind of long-winded sometimes, but I'm excited! Anyway, I'll go and shut that off. But yeah, that's weird how these radios actually have 8 mixes on them, which is pretty cool. You know, the old i6S 4. You got 8 mixes to work with on this thing, so that's kind of neat. But sometimes all it takes is somebody to, you know, reach out to you and give you a suggestion. And I'll tell you what, thank you, Jeremy, for that. That was awesome. You know, I thought about it, but I was a little bit nervous. And before I went and completely gutted the radio, or reset it, I went through and I wrote down all the mixes, all the switch assignments, and everything. And actually, I'm glad I did that, because Oliver had the sound system set up on his video at 10. Mine was set up at 11 on channel 11, so on the receiver. So it's a good thing I did write everything down, and he had the reverses wrong too on some of the channels. So I'm glad that I wrote everything down. That's one of the things. If get a notebook, go through everything, write it down, or take a video of the radio. The problem is, you know, when you start watching a video, I was watching Oliver's video, and he's talking so fast, and he's setting up mix 4, and I'm still on 2, so I got to pause it and stop it. So what was nice is I wrote everything down in a notebook, and hopefully if I ever have another failure like this, hopefully somebody will learn, you know, maybe can learn from this if you ever have an issue like this. But yeah, it was a hard reset. Everything works as it should. And now I can switch it to mode 2 on the radio, and it will work for cat. And if I move it to mode 1, it works for deer, like I was trying to do to begin with. But I think that tune that they put in the radio, I'm calling it a tune, caused all the problems. But the hardest part, you know, I couldn't see the receiver, but yeah, you just got to turn the cab. There's 2 screws under here, and then there's another screw towards the back that you got to turn it around to the back side so that you can get the 3 screws out, and then the cab comes off. A bunch of wires hooked to it yet, but at least it wasn't terrible, because I was like, where is the receiver? It's under the cab, along with a sound unit, and a bunch of other stuff is under there too. But yeah. So yeah, I was a little frustrated yesterday, but I finally said to heck with it about 8 o'clock last night, went in the house and decided, let's get it figured out. And we did. So thanks for the help, guys. Thanks for all the suggestions. I'm happy. So anyway, catch you guys later.